Hello and welcome to ActiveNet Insights. Today I'm joined by a friend. I'm going to call Robin a friend. It's a long time since we first had a steak together somewhere near.
It is indeed.
Robin's been to a few ActiveNets in the past and is coming to our online event on the 24th and 25th of March. So Robin, just tell us a bit about yourself and what you do, please.
Okay, David. Yeah, good to talk to you again. Good to see you. Robin McGloughlin is the name. I'm co-founder and director of a company called Poolview Limited, and we specialize in safer swimming systems. So at the moment, it's drowning detection would be our bag, our baby, our area of expertise.
Fantastic. And that's why we started talking, because I was part of a business that created something called Aquajack, which was a drowning device to wear on the goggles. Never actually got the funding behind it, but never mind. Maybe try.
Ahead of your time.
Oh, I hope so. And I do recall talking to you about ActiveNet and actually having to do quite a persuasion job on you to get you to come. So what's been your experience of ActiveNet in the past?
Well, ActiveNet, we've now done, or I've participated in 3, and this will be my 4th. So I did 2015, 2016, and 2018, and it was to be 2020. The ActiveNet for me, I mean, the reason it came in 2015 was to get the free MyZone belt. So let's not just beat about the bush, you know. That was the driver. No, that was the biggest bonus. But back in 2015, things have, you know as well as I do, things have changed very, very much since then. But my big difficulty was describing what I do and what we do in a sentence, in an email, in anything like that. It was very, very difficult. And what I discovered very quickly was that the best way to get, this is what we do, is a face-to-face, like something like we're doing now. And ActiveNet, I know you'd spoken to me, and I think when you first mentioned to me, we hadn't long started the company. We only started in 2012. And it was very much, take care of your pennies, take care of the organic growth. And it wasn't until 2015 where we were ready, and I knew that we had the product in place that we could move forward. And my target, if I'm honest with you, I'd learned from previous experience that to get in front of local government was a complete nightmare. It was very much talk to so-and-so, oh, they pass you on to B, who passes you on to C, passes you on to D, and you're back to A again. And that was the big attraction for me with ActiveNet, in that I don't know, I can't remember your formula, but that I can pick my meetings and you guarantee the top 5 or top 6 or whatever it is. And that absolutely was the biggest single point and driver for me to go, I'm signing the dotted line, because I knew I wanted to talk to A, B, C, D, E, and F, and anything else that came along was a bonus. And that was the big driver. That was the most appealing part of the whole thing. And I knew it'd be more productive than standing in an exhibition.
Yeah, having done that and actually spent probably more time talking to people like you than customers at exhibitions, I would have to agree. And I think it's an interesting piece that you mentioned the formula, because what we do is make sure we match you and the buyers that want to see each other. So there's a real synergy when a buyer sits down and wants to talk to you. And of course, our online event, which is the 24th and 25th of March, you've now got that ability to share screens and share presentations and things like that as well. So I know a number of organizations that have joined us because of that ability now. It's so much easier to actually share your story with pictures and with videos and with outcomes. So brilliant. So talk to us about what you're going to share with our operators, with our buyers. What sort of things do you think they need to start thinking about as we come out of this pandemic?
Well, for me, there's 2, let's call it angles of attack. There's 2 messages I'd like to get out, and it bears fruit through everything we do in ActiveNet. One of them is about new builds. If you're planning a new build, if you're thinking about a new build, just get some containment and future-proof your swimming pool. And that message I've been doing for years, and I don't. At the end of the day, I don't really care what detection you put in. Obviously, I'd like you to select Poolview, but I think if you can get a new build built and future-proofed, it makes a lot of decision-making down the line much, much better.
Just before we go on, Robin, just tell us what you mean by containment and future.
Okay. Well, if we go in to do a retrofit in a swimming pool, we've got to drill a 10 mil 8-10 mil holes in your swimming pool.
Right.
So that obviously scares a lot of people, from architects to councillors to you name it. So if as part of your build you build that hole in already, so that we can just pop a camera in or somebody can, well, that's the end of that. You don't have to drill holes in your swimming pool. And it's interesting. So I've done. I was just looking back. In 2015, when I did my first ActiveNet with yourselves, I've got a list of people that I've worked with. Now, this is the beauty of ActiveNet for me, is the long sale, the long partnership. And there's one particular authority that I met in 2015, local authority. What is it you do? Really? That sort of stuff. And we're actually installing as soon as lockdown finishes. Fantastic. So that's 6 years taken of that relationship and partnership that started in ActiveNet. In 2016, I met Cov. What is it you do? And he went away and he made sure that he had his building, the new pool, future-proofed. And in the intervening 5 years, it's taken. We've installed. We just finished installing last week, even though we can't open. So there's 2 success stories right away from ActiveNet. That with the 2 different messages, future-proof if nothing else. But the second thing is, detection is not just drowning detection. It's part of the whole building management process. And I think I'd mentioned to you before that in Europe, they start to look at detection as part of the building management system. So it's used in the same sentence as air handling, as chemical, water treatment, because they see it as it's part of offering the management, whoever comes in to look after this place, the flexibility to adapt and change. That this isn't just a square pool or a rectangular pool. It says in that you must. It offers flexibility. Now, try explaining that in an email.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it? And well, I think that's one of the reasons my drown detection device just didn't get any interest, because nobody ever Googles drown detection. Nobody ever sort of wants to know, because you only know about it when something tragically goes wrong, effectively, when something isn't in place. But I know your systems are so positive, and it makes a real difference to the workforce. And I think in a post-pandemic world, that piece around supporting the workforce to do the best job they can is so important going forward.
I always say that, and this is another lady you probably know, Helen Metcalf. This was her line. She said to me, 10 years ago, if you're in a board of directors and you only had a pencil, and 10 years, now 10 years later, you still only have a pencil, you'd be going, hang on a wee minute, what's going on here? And lifeguards have had the same, chair and throw bag for eons. So it's an additional tool that we present to the workforce that makes them happier, keeps the customers happier, just raises that level of safety right the way throughout. Because as I've said many a time, it's nobody, very few drown now. I'm out of my depth, help me. It's our aging population, more active population. It's a medical event 99 times out of 100, which has obviously opened up some. It's because we now put technology in pools, we're learning about these things that we didn't know before. Johnny's at the bottom. How'd you get there? I have no idea. Well, now we have the backstory, and then that leads forward to how we can train lifeguards to identify and make that not happen again, or help prevent it. So that's the exciting stuff. That's the bits I love about what we do.
And that's the bit that you will do such a good job at sharing at ActiveNet. Now, as is always the way, Robin, when you and I talk, our time has gone. We've used up 10 minutes already. So what I will, rest assured, if you want to speak to Robin, make sure you put him on the list when you select your meetings. And he's a great guy anyway, whether or not you ever put in his systems and processes, you'll enjoy talking to Robin. But Robin, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to catching up at ActiveNet, mate.
You too, David, and wish you all the best. I think it's going to be an absolute belter.
Cheers. Thanks, Robin.